Okay, is everybody sitting down? Because now it's time for another adventure into the theater of the eccentric with me, Manic Mark. Just paintings. I've been busy painting. I've got paintings. I'm going to put them up on the screen. Let's just start with when ankle biters become anti-gravity pugs. There, I'm putting up on the screen. There it is. Basically, Hoover has this anxiety separation thing in the morning, and he goes crazy, red zone crazy. He's like, he'll go after ankles, but if you pick him up, he's like, okay. But then if you try, he looks fine, and you try to pet him, he's like, it's not, I don't know how he developed the thing. Anyway, it's not, he's just a little dog. It's not serious. It can be managed. But anyway, I was wondering what happened if he would become anti-gravity, get anti-gravity powers and be able to attack the way he would actually like to, rather than just biting the ankles. Okay, go for the jugular, bite the tongue out. Anyway, that's that painting. And the next painting is just probably interspersing all this stuff with the other painting stuff. Okay, I was watching the TV last night, and it was that show How It's Made, and they show how they make trim that looks like stone, or at least cast cement, but they make it out of styrofoam, and they coat it with like 2 layers of some kind of cement slurry. So I just said immediately, I said, old world styrofoam craftsman. That, what are they going to do in the future? What's shit going to be made out of anyway? I mean, how long will that last? It's not going to last like stone trim. So I'm thinking about, like, 75 years in the future, there'll be some old guy sitting in a chair talking to his grandchild. Daddy, what was it like to be, Grandpa, what was it like to be an old world styrofoam craftsman? Well, back in the day, I had to cut the styrofoam by hand with a hot wire, and it was tough on us. But everything we made lasted at least 5 years, until somebody put a finger through it in the lobby of the mall. This doesn't feel like cement, poke. Anyway, so the old world styrofoam craftsman makes the portal trim for the portal of Limbo, where you cross over to get to Limbo. And the gatekeeper for Limbo's there. This guy comes up and he's like, hey, that portal trim is as fake as my comb over. And the portal keeper says, nothing lasts forever. So maybe it doesn't matter whether it's styrofoam or real stone. I just like real stone better, personally. Anyway, that's the end of it. I know. They make houses out of styrofoam and cement. You pour it in. I would love that. The cement house and a copper roof. If only I had been thinking clearly at some point in my life. Anyway, never mind. Go on. Now, I'm putting this other painting up on the screen. There it is. It's the, see, I don't even remember what the hell it's called. Okay. It was the bad behavior game. Okay, the bad behavior game is now titled, That Totally Sucks Big Time, Sorry About Your Life, Game of Mistakes, That's Stupid. So there it is up on the screen. I know it's hard to see because it's pretty tall, but it's the it's a beanbag game, okay? And now it's not like I'm trying to solicit bad behavior in the game. That was childish. I'm not going there anymore. But now, and there's no point system. It's just you throw it and you make up your own. But so there's no rules, because in life, I don't have anything of any importance to say there. But anyway, it's basically, you can drink beer and you can discuss your woe and misery over that totally sucks big time, sorry about your life, game of mistakes, that's stupid. You could just drink and throw the bean bags and talk about the stupid things that you've done to mess up your life. But the thing is that there's a very subtle thing going on in this painting where everything is sort of, nobody's happy. Yes, they are happy, they're not happy. There's this cycle of well, I'm happy because I've got mine, and then there's the person behind them that are going to do something stupid to them, and because they're doing something, it's like a daisy chain of stupidness. That's what life's all about. Because it's all cause and effect. I can't think of anything I've done in my whole life that wasn't a knee-jerk reaction to something that happened. Sometimes I'm a lot slower to jerk the knee than other times, but whatever you do in life, it's a reaction to something, cause and effect. And then there's the inertia, whatever you had behind you that you've been pushing, using to push forward, motivating you, that keeps going. So if you make a mistake, all that inertia, and you're like a personality like mine, you're compulsive and you try to get things done and you keep going, then that inertia builds up and you do something stupid and you can't stop yourself and you're like, oh, like this against the wall of stupidness. I had to stop that because that was pretty stupid. Anyway, now on to the next silly thing is the God Bomb painting. I redid that too. All these paintings, many of them I'm redoing, as you know, that's what I do, because they're getting a lot better. I realize it's a matter of opinion. Hopefully the people that have a different opinion have already clicked off and gone somewhere else. Anyway, the God Bomb theme was, the original theme was that mankind builds enough stuff that we're just going to destroy ourselves with something, okay? With the 2012 shows on TV. But I just started this like 10 years ago, so it wasn't like there was, anyway, it wasn't on TV, these concepts. So it's still sort of like an end-of-the-world scenario. I kind of got away a little bit from the biblical thing, just slightly, although there is Jesus, he's looking down and he says, have a frown turned upside down as people are burning and dying. He's in good spirits. Why? He's Jesus. He's up in heaven. He's cool. Okay? So, what am I titling the painting now? Well, originally I titled it No Place, Peace in Like Hell. Like no peace in hell, no place like hell. I mixed it all up. But then I got, so then it was like, the idea was like, this part of the drawing is there two people, the last two people on earth would kill each other over a can of beans, okay? Everything's been destroyed, the last two people on earth, you would think, the point is no matter how horrible things get, people are going to kill each other in the midst of the most horrible things that you can imagine going on. Why? Because people they can't help themselves. So they're killing one another. The last two people on earth are killing one another. But then I had more space to fill up. So I decided to put Captain America in the painting. Sorry, Jack Kirby. This is not a reflection on you. But I figured if Captain America, he says, Jesus Christ, every man for themselves. When Captain America takes a dump, which he's done right there, poops his pants because he's scared to death, because everything's just so messed up and horrible. When he gets to that point where he's running, trying to save himself, crapping his pants, you know, it's bad. It's bad times at the end of the world. Now then I'm thinking there's Santa Claus, which I've made a bad person with a bag of anthrax trying to kill people because he's dressed up. Everything's dressed up. It's like Satan leaves you to believe that something's good, then it's not, because he dresses up the good stuff like Santa Claus. The bad stuff like Santa Claus. It's kind of an Easter bunny, but they're myths, so you got it. It's like an icon for myth exploding, because we grew up with all these myths like Captain America and the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and shadow people. There's another one. Shadow people with a candy cane. The shadow person's trying to get you to believe in them by giving you candy. I realized that was a stretch, but I stuck that in there. Okay, but the whole idea is that how is the world going to end? Well, in this case, it's the hands of God coming down, and God has little tips on the end of his, like laser beam fire tips on the ends of his fingers, and he's not going to destroy people on earth to kill themselves. He's just given up. He figures this is going to be the end of it. So what he's like shooting his fire laser tips at the moon, trying to send the moon out of orbit. So in the last days of mankind, they send Bruce Willis to the moon to try to, with a big fire extinguisher, to try to put out the fires that are threatening to push the moon out of orbit, so that the gravity on Earth will change and the poles will flop, and 2012 will be this big end of the world mess. But Bruce Willis can't even save. He's vaporized. His head's vaporized in his helmet. He gets like a little puncture in the helmet, and his head just goes, you know, because the vacuum changes, and his head just does that, like that red stuff all over the visor. Fuzzy pink brains and blood all over the visor. Okay. But so the poles flip and everything's destroyed. But I hate to leave a painting, any kind of painting, without hope, a touch of hope. So what has happened is, emerging from underneath the mountain, which had been fairly stable through the Earth pole shifting, come a DNA genetic experiment left over from the government. A giant escapes. He's like a giant Neanderthal, one-eyed beast, kind of like that creature from that Lost in Space episode, One Eye. He comes out with his giant hammer, looking for another creature just like himself to kill. So there's still life on the Earth, and the Japanese, there's a factory in Japan, I figure, that survives, but it's been damaged, and they're making mutant robot bears, like teddy bears, one-eyed teddy bears. They are not happy either, so they try to kill the giant Cyclops, and the Cyclops go around trying to kill the mutant robot teddy bears. So the moral of the story is, don't worry about it, because the Earth will be repopulated by giant Cyclops, hammer-wielding giant Cyclops, and fuzzy, cute, cycloptic robot bears made in a factory in Japan that are mutant, that aren't happy either, and they try to kill. How? Why? They're just small. And how can they kill a giant? There has to be hundreds and hundreds of them and attack them all at one time. And they don't have teeth. I'm not sure how. Maybe they smother him. They get in his mouth and he can't breathe. It's all the teddy bears cram into his mouth and he can't breathe. Well, thanks for stopping by for another episode of Eccentric Theater with me, Manic Mark.